We are back. It's me, Jesse Rowe with Inside Fighting. This is the Fight Season Podcast, and normally I'm here with Timmy Shoes. We talk all things MMA and UFC and boxing, but we're doing things a little bit differently this week. I am joined by UFC's number 7 featherweight contender, Josh Emmett. Josh, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me once again.
Yeah, it's great to be here. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm super happy to have you. I always like talking to you, and there's a lot of topics that I want to cover with you today, but like the one thing I want to get off before anything else is, I noticed some things on your social media that really speak true to my heart, and that's beer. Because I saw that you're getting involved in the beer game. You're doing some IPA. You got your own IPA. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It was it was a fun process. One of the owners from Knee Deep Brewery, it's they're a microbrewery up in Auburn, California, and they're known for their craft beers. And we've been talking about this for a little over a year, and kind of the inspiration to the beer that I came up with and got to develop and design the label and the taste and flavor and everything. I wanted to do like a spin-off or Mike Tyson's Punch Out,
Okay.
so that's why it's me punching their mascot, which is a hop guy that he's on all their cans. And that's why it's all pixelated. And what better name than Josh Emmett's One Punch IPA? And it's not as strong as some people would think. They're like, oh, that's got to be like a double or triple or quad IPA, but it's awesome. It's flavorful. It's delicious. You can drink a ton of them, and it's 6.5 alcohol. But
Okay.
I wanted people to be able to have some, not just drink one and be out. And it turned out great. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The name is very much Josh Emmett, but you're saying that the result is not Josh Emmett. Because if you're saying it's a one punch beer, it's I'm not going to drink one and I'm not going to get knocked out from it. I'm not done. I'm
Yeah,
not out.
maybe you got to drink 3 or 4 of them.
I'm a
Uh,
lightweight. I'm a
yeah,
lightweight.
they come in there like they're Knee Deep is known for their they sell 16-ounce cans in 4 packs, and we're gonna blow it up in Sacramento. So
Nice.
next week it'll be available in a ton of restaurants and bars in the greater Sacramento area, and then there's gonna be a handful of retail stores. Total Wines, Bevmo, even Costco is gonna do a kind of test run. They're
Okay.
going to take a pallet at each location for 3 Costco's, and if it does well, then I think they'll kind of slowly grow from there. So I'm really looking forward to blowing this up, and a lot of the proceeds I'm going to donate to 2 charities that I work with and believe in. So I'm going to give a lot of the proceeds to these 2 charities.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'll make sure to get my own. It's One Punch IPA with Knee Deep Brewery. Congratulations on that, man.
Thank you.
So I guess where I sort of want to go, we just let's start off with, what's next for you? Obviously, you're coming off of like arguably the knockout of the year against Bryce Mitchell. We talked about that. I mean, we don't have to go back and revisit that, but obviously just 2 fights ago, fighting for the interim title, fighting the guy, then you fought the guy that has the title right now. And now you have a pretty big knockout against one of the rising contenders in the division. What's next for you? Where do you see the next step for Josh Emmett?
Man, it's tough. It's like those are fights I want back to. It's
Yeah.
I know everyone's like, when are you fighting? I originally they wanted me to fight at UFC 300, but in the beginning of the year, I went down to CPI, Cellular Performance Institute, to do some stem cells, just because for the past few years I've been dealing with just some stuff that's been bothering me that I have not been able to train the way I would have liked to, and I've been fighting the best guys and the biggest fights of my career and life. I was like a fraction of myself. I've been fighting these guys at like 30-40% since early in 2022. So I actually just did a procedure not too long ago, just to kind of get back to 100%. So the next time I do fight, and I'm still hoping to get a fight in this year, it's going to literally be, Josh Emmett 2.0. And I know a lot of people say that, but I'm literally going to be back to 100, 110%. And these are the fights I want back. Like I want that rematch against Ilia really
Yeah.
bad. I fought him at probably, the interim title you're talking about. Like I fought it Yeah, I just wasn't my best, and then even following that, it's like each fight got worse and worse. But yeah, I'm already doing really well, and I cannot wait to get back to training because I think I'll actually enjoy the whole process again, where I've just been going to practices and not really getting better, but just training around things that I could not do just so I can get to the fight and fight. But now I'm going to be 100%, and it's like a resurgence, and I'm just looking forward to that more than anything.
Out of curiosity, what is it that you needed the stem cell treatment on? Do you care to share that, or is that something you don't
Yeah,
want people
yeah.
knowing?
That's why I don't know. I'd rather not like really
Okay, no
tell them
worries.
exactly
Yeah,
what I
no, of course. Then your opponent will just target it, and then
yeah.
it's like you don't want that to be the case.
Not that it matters. I'll let them try to punch
Yeah,
me or kick me there, and I'll exchange a overhand right or a right for that. But yeah, I'd rather not
yeah,
tell.
no, fair enough. So, yeah, what's that like? Because a lot of people do stem cell treatment. I actually, this is just off the top of my head. I don't know if you heard about this. Sean O'Malley once said that he actually got stem cell treatments in his, you know what? That maybe is for maybe post career Josh Emmett, right?
You never know. People are talking about my age, but yeah, no, I know they do that as well. But
Yeah,
CPI is a phenomenal place. It's
yeah,
Ed Clay and Scotty Nelson. They own the place, and it's what they're doing is truly phenomenal. I think it's one of the best places in the world for stem cell treatment, and it was a fun process when I went down to Tijuana. It's just everything is top notch. They pick you up in San Diego in these sprinter vans. They transport you, over the border straight to the center, and they're like prepping your body to receive the stem cells. You're doing all the MRIs, and you're doing all like just the testing, and they do blood work just to make sure that you can undergo the treatment. And just the people that I met there, like not only the people from CPI, but even the people that are just trying to get better, and like to change the quality of life and be happy and feel back to 100%. It was everything about it was I don't know. It was amazing, and I couldn't wait to go back, and here we are. I think I'm going to go back pretty soon, maybe in May or June, just to do some more, just so I can really speed up the healing process and
yeah.
the recovery of what I just had done as well.
I love that. It's everybody who says that they do that just has nothing but good things to say. I have a shoulder thing, so I was thinking about doing the same thing one day, getting that.
I highly
Uh,
recommend it. If you
yeah,
I could shoot you the number if you want
yeah,
to get a
yeah.
consultation. Let me
Sure,
know.
maybe we'll talk offline. But um, so you're not getting the Sean O'Malley treatment, just to be clear.
No, not yet.
Okay, all right. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess we were briefly talking about Topuria. There's a lot up in the air. There's some gray area right now about what's next for him. Obviously, you're probably a fight away, I would assume, where you could get that fight. But what do you think should happen with this? Because a lot of people believe that Volk should get the immediate rematch, but it's because he's a long-standing champion. But he also got knocked out in a pretty devastating way, 2 fights in a row. So people think he should take some time, maybe get one more fight. There's talk about Mofsar. There's talk about a fight between Ortega and Mofsar. Just what are your thoughts on where the division is at right now?
I know it's so hard with like I agree with you with Volkanovski. He was such a long-standing champion. He was one of the pound for pound best. He's been the champion in the featherweight division since 2018, right? 2018 or 19.
Yeah,
Beat
something
some
like that.
all-time greats. So I do believe if anyone gets a rematch, he should get the rematch. I think he deserves it. He's earned it. But then it's tough for me for a rematch as well because I feel like a lot of people say it was a close fight, say it went to the scorecards and he lost a split decision or a unanimous, then I see that's when people they should get a rematch. But the way that it went down, was he knocked him out in the second round. It's tough to say with that, but yeah, I think he has earned it. And then next up, it's Max Holloway. He's
Right.
beat everyone in the division except Volkanovski. He just kind of had his number. So I know he's fighting Justin Gaethje at UFC 300, and I think depending on how things play out there, I think if he pulls off a win, maybe he stays at 55s and they push him for a lightweight title fight. If for some reason he loses, I know he wants to come back down to featherweight, then maybe he deserves the shot, because it's a, mix up the division. He's been at the top of the game for so long. But yeah, I guess we'll have to kind of just sit back and kind of see how things play out and what the matchmakers want, what the UFC wants. But I do believe Ilya needs to fight in the division, fight at 45s and not go up a weight class and just, fight some of these guys.
Or the thought of O'Malley moving up to fight him was also put out by Sean O'Malley himself. Do you think that that's like just kind of a pipe dream? Do you think that's something that the UFC might actually want to make? And why? And do you think that like too many of these champions just get the belt, defend it once, and then want to move up, become double champion? Is that trend kind of like getting a little too out of hand at this point?
Yeah, I don't know who it was, but someone was just talking about this. They're like, I think they should put something into place where a champion, you have to defend your title, say like 3 or 4 times successfully, and then you can move up or down. I don't think you win the title and without even defending it once, you bounce around. I don't think they should do that because it can hold up the division. And as far as O'Malley bouncing up to 45s and challenging Ilya, um, from a business standpoint, I think that is something that I could see the UFC doing because that would be an insane lead up to the bout.
Right.
It would also be, who knows, maybe they break some numbers because O'Malley is such a superstar, Ilya's a superstar. They would definitely have some crazy numbers and make a ton of money that way. I also feel that if O'Malley were to go up, not a whole lot. Like he fights him, his stock rises no matter what. If he loses to Ilya, then he just goes back down to bantamweight and defends his title. But there's a chance of winning. Do I think he'd beat Ilya? No, but anything can happen in fighting, and they're both at the top of their game. So I think regardless, it would just be a crazy event if that ever were to happen.
Yeah.
So who knows? I wouldn't put it past the UFC because they know that too. The amount of pay-per-views and money that would be generated from that type of fight would be pretty insane.
Who do you think is a bigger star right now? Do you think O'Malley or Topuria is a bigger star? Because they're both like kind of huge in their own way. Ilya has Europe, whereas O'Malley has like the American youth. It's kind of an interesting conversation.
Yeah, it's different. Like I would I would say probably Ilya just because you know, he has so many people overseas and
Yeah,
he reps like 3 different countries. It's like Georgia, Spain, and
right.
and Germany, and then of course you have all the the American fans and like you're saying like the European fans, whereas O'Malley is big in the States and he's big everywhere. Anyone that follows the sport, but he also has the younger generation that stream and stuff like that. So it's hard to say, but I'd say they're pretty close. But I would say I don't know, maybe Ilya's a bigger star because he's reached more people in the world and just seeing some of the stuff that he's doing with at the soccer stadiums and going on this tour. He's
Real Madrid, the collaboration post he did with Real Madrid, 260
that,
million followers on their Instagram, by the way.
I'm
Just
saying that's
unbelievable.
insane. And you
Yeah,
look at social medias
yeah,
and Ilya has more. Not saying that means you're a bigger star, but I don't know, kind of.
yeah. I know I got some heat on TikTok because that was my take. I thought Ilya was bigger than O'Malley. I took some heat for it. I knew what I was doing. I was looking for the heat. So it's interesting because what about for you? Let's say Volk doesn't fight for the title. Is that a fight that you wanted for a while? I would imagine so. I mean, it might be a fight away, but I mean, like, what if Volk takes some time off and then Josh Emmett versus Volkanovski is right there? You were one fight away from fighting him anyway.
Yeah, no, I definitely entertain that, and it's like I will fight anyone whoever is going to get me to my rematch or the title fight. So
Yeah.
I've been saying like if I could pick, everyone's like, who do you want to fight next? If I'm like I want this guy and they give it to me, I would always choose the champion, whoever they are. But if not, the second best is the number 1 contender, and that would be Volkanovski. So if Volkanovski does take some time off, and then the stars align and we're matched up, yeah, it's a fight that I would definitely take. I only wanted to fight Volkanovski for the longest time because stylistically, I think him and I match up really well. Um, and he was a champion, of course. And
Yeah,
he really is he's a good person, and he was a great champion. And yeah, so I would definitely take that because that would be what would get me to
right.
the title fight. So if I go out there, I beat Volkanovski, the next in line is my rematch with Ilia.
Beating guy like Volk, you just like you can't be denied at that point. But
Oh,
I mean no disrespect to this question. I was just imagining the fight right now in my head, and I was like, you guys would look at, like next to each other. You got the two. You guys look the same. I think if you stood behind each other. So that would be. Does that do you feel like a sort of kinship with Volk being like the two guys, the shaved head guys in the division?
I don't know. I felt like I had this going on first, and then a lot of people were following.
Ah,
Then I saw the champ Volkanovski cut his
okay,
hair, and then I saw Ortega cut his hair. I was
right.
like, maybe I was leading that trend.
He
No,
stole your look, bro.
yeah, right.
I know I'm a little worried. I'm starting to get like the hairline going. I'm gonna have to shave my head at some point. What advice do you have for me? Because I'm like I'm starting to get the Friar Tuck thing back here a little bit. I'm like, shit, man. I'm gonna have to make a decision in like the next 10 years.
Right, you gotta just do it. My little brother, for the longest time, he was doing the same thing. He had like the little receding hairline, and he was trying to do the comb over. I kept telling him, I'm like, man, you gotta just shave that shit off.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And then eventually he listened to me, and years later he kind of looks like me now.
Yeah, but like you and Volk, you guys have the face for it. Like I feel like I don't have the face for it. I feel like I'm just gonna look weird. I'm gonna have to grow my beard out big like you just to put some hair on my face because it's just gonna look strange. You know what I mean? Some guys they just don't have the face for it.
I guess I don't know. I
Yeah,
guess I didn't have an option. And
right.
hey, you might be following that same path.
I know I might be fucked. I'm not. Okay, let's well then I want to sort of just go on to a couple of little rapid fire here things here with you. Your guy, you're good with your hands. I'm guessing you're a boxing fan. What do you think about this Ryan Garcia Devin Haney fight coming up? It's a big fight. We got heavy Haney's a heavy favorite. Who do you got in that one?
I know it just depends on, like, I've been seeing the stuff with Garcia, and they're both great fighters, and I also feel like they grew up in in the amateurs and all these stuff, and they used to train together, and they would spar. So I feel like even though it's been years and they both developed and got so much better, you just kind of know, like, if if you've got the better of someone, even though a fight is 100% different, it just depends on what Ryan Garcia shows up on fight night.
Yeah,
Uh, like, he's so damn fast, and technical. Whereas Devin Haney, he's good, and he's just, and obviously he's the champion. He's continued to prove himself, and even some fights that you're like, oh, I don't think he's going to pull this off. He goes out there and puts on a clinic. So it is man, it's a tough. It's always hard for me to bet against the champions. Um,
right.
and I can argue how both guys win, but if Garcia wins, like, I wouldn't be too surprised, So I'm excited to watch that fight for sure, and
Yeah.
you know, just hope that the best man wins on that night. But who do you have? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I like Ryan a lot. I do like the kid a lot. I think Haney is just a because they fought in the amateurs, like you mentioned. They're actually 3-3, so this is like
Oh,
sort of like a game seven match. But this
okay,
is back when there were different rules in the amateurs. It was just they're two completely different fighters than they are now. Obviously, this was
okay.
like 10, 15 years, whatever it was. I think Devin is just he's kind of like leveled up where
Mhm.
Ryan is just starting to level up, if that makes sense, where he's just maybe like jumped a little bit on that tank fight. I like Devin. I think Devin will get it done, but
Yeah.
it's a good fight. I do want to this is the one that's we're almost done, by the way. This is the one that everybody it has an opinion on. It's I'm sure you know what I'm going to ask you is Mike
Tyson and
Tyson
Jake Paul.
versus Jake Paul. What do you think about this fight? Do you I mean it's very controversial, it's very divisive. What's your overall take on it?
Just like most people, I'll probably be one of the people to buy the pay-per-view. So I think
Well,
this
it's
is
on
gonna happen.
Netflix. It's on
Oh, it's on
Netflix.
Netflix. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how? Okay. Yeah. But I'll definitely watch. Mike Tyson has always been one of my favorite boxers of all time. So yeah, I'm gonna tune in. Jake Paul, I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. The guy's been training hard. He puts in the work, but man, you're talking about Mike Tyson, one of the
Mhm.
heavyweight champions of the world. He looks like he's been training his ass off. He looks insane, even at his age. Um, does Tyson have like 20 or 30 years on? Is he
27. When they step in the ring, it'll be 27-year age. Or wait, sorry. It's he's 57.
yeah, and
Maybe not. Maybe it's
20
20.
years.
What is it? 57. Oh my God, it might be like 30 years. It might be 31 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It's like how can you if Tyson trains the entire camp the way he's been looking the first few days of camp, like I don't know, man. I like my money's on Tyson, like knocking him out. Um, but who knows? You know, Jake Paul, he's a big guy. He has the youth on his side. He has the power, but he's going to fight a you know just a beast in Mike Tyson, even given the 20 to 30-year age difference. If I had to bet on the fight, I'm picking Tyson to win.
Love it. I am too, but I can't get over the age difference things. It weirds me out a little bit. I'm hoping everything goes okay because when a guy
Yeah,
that old stepping in the
I see
ring.
also how they went from like it's not an actual fight anymore; it's an exhibition, and they're going to wear 16-ounce gloves, headgear. There's no ref, right? And it's there's going to be no scorecards unless there is some type of knockout. Is that right?
I think that they're trying to get professional, like they're trying to make it a pro sanctioned fight, but that apparently the 16-ounce gloves thing might have been wrong.
Okay,
There's been a lot of miscommunication about this, what's going on. I think they're still figuring it out, to be
okay,
honest.
okay.
So I
Yeah,
think that
I
it's a
saw
moving
something
moving
about
target.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, all right. Well, all right. Really quick, let's do this. Let's do a little rapid fire for UFC 300 since this is the big one coming up. Let's go. Let's just do. I'm not going to make you do the whole all of them because every fight is amazing on this card. But let's just go with the main card. We got Bo Nickel is a massive favorite. He's like a minus 2100 favorite against Cody Brundage on some cards. I mean, but he was put on the main card he was moved up. He replaced Yuri versus Rakic, whatever you pronounce it. Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. Who you got?
I'm going with the line, Bo Nickel.
Yeah. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Sarukian. Oliveira is actually a little bit of an underdog, plus 170 on the UFC website.
Uh, I know Armand. He's man, he's good, but I'm going with Charles Oliveira. You know, I got to go with the former champion.
I am too, and I think that those odds are incredible. If I was a betting man, I would probably take those odds. All right, here we go. This affects your division a little bit. Gaethje versus Holloway. Gaethje's a minus 240. Holloway's a plus 200.
This is another tough fight. It's like I hate picking fights just because I can
Okay.
argue both guys win. Man, it it is tough. Like Max has never been dropped. He's never been finished, and that's typically what Gaethje does. Man, I don't know. Like if I had to bet on it, I'm probably leaning towards Gaethje just because he's been fighting at lightweight. He's the bigger, more physical guy. But then again, Max Holloway is such a a legend in himself. So if I had to bet, I'm going with I'm probably leaning towards Gaethje. But who knows what happens in this fight?
I agree. I'm with you there. I am leaning Gaethje as well, but Max Holloway is an incredible high value underdog because he is an OG and he can box with anybody. So
And that's what I'm saying. Like if he
yeah,
wins too, it's kind of like a pick 'em. But if I had to bet, I'm going with him. But if
yeah.
Max wins, it's the same thing. I'm like, I could see that happening as well.
Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. Zhang Weili is just full disclosure, arguably my favorite fighter in the UFC. I absolutely love her. She is awesome. Women's strawweight title bout. She's a pretty heavy favorite. I think it doesn't say here, but I think I saw her at a minus 300 at one point. But yeah, this is the co-main event. What do you think about it?
Tough one. Yana, she's a teammate of mine.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't
Great,
realize that.
great person. Such a
I like
hard.
her too, to be honest. I
And
love Zhang Weili. I really do.
no, she's a phenomenal fighter. And this is
Yeah.
I got to go with my teammate. I think she upsets Whaley.
Love that. I mean, that's and that would be great for the division to shake it up a little bit. It'll be
And
it'll,
she's a big, powerful
yeah.
woman. So I think as far as like punching power and stuff like that, and she's been working so hard over the last like few years on her jiu-jitsu and her wrestling with my coach Danny Castillo. So So we'll see. I hope if she can stuff those takedowns and she can
Yeah.
keep it standing, man, then I think it could be a different outcome.
And I didn't like the odds make. I feel like she was being a little undersold on the odds a little bit. I feel like they should be a little bit closer. I understand Whaley being a favorite, but the fact that she's such a heavy, Jan is such a heavy underdog, I was confused by. I didn't agree with that. Um, all right. So this is the main event that sort of, everybody thought it was going to be like McGregor, Chandler, or, like Khabib was going to come out of retirement for UFC 300. There was all that stuff. It ended up being Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill, which I think is an awesome fight. I know it wasn't the fight a lot of UFC fans were hoping for UFC 300, but I think it's an incredible main event. Who do you got? Light heavyweight championship.
Yeah, I was excited for this matchup too, and I heard a lot of people they were pissed about it, and I was like, man, this is a great fight.
Yeah.
Um, this is another tough one too, but
I think it's the toughest one to call out of all of
I'm
them, if I'm being honest.
uh, like something like in the back of my mind, I'm kind of leaning towards Jamal Hill. I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Right.
He's a big guy. He's powerful as hell. Even though you know Alex is a big guy, but Jamal's a he's bigger than he is, and I think he's just more powerful. And for whatever reason, I think Jamal gets the job done and kind of shocks the world.
I agree. And I think Pereira is one of the most incredible stories in the history of the UFC. He's amazing, but I think Jamal was like this should be a 50-50 coin flip fight. He's an incredible boxer. He can knock anybody out. I think it's going to be there's no way that fight's going to decision. That's all I'll say. Whoever wins, that fight will end.
Being those, at the light heavyweight, like Jamal's fast too,
Yeah,
and he packs a powerful, yeah, he's powerful as hell. So I think if he lands, and this isn't going to be a, a wrestling match. This is going to be a striking match,
right.
and I do feel like Jamal even has the advantage in the wrestling and the jujitsu as well. But if he decides to take it that way, but
Right.
I think it's going to be a stand-up fight, and I think Jamal catches him.
Josh, thank you so much, man. It's been awesome talking to you. So let's just end it here. When can we expect to see you in the octagon next?
Man, I was really looking forward to not only fighting on UFC 300, but International Fight Week. I want to get on that card, but I think that's going to be kind of delayed until who knows, like the fall or maybe winter. I don't even know, to be honest, but I will fight this year.
Okay. Oh, I know you're going to fight this year, and especially because you're going to come back at 100% when those stem cells are at their full capability, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Josh, you're the man, bro. Thank you so much. Let's do this again, okay?
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for having me, Jesse. You have a good weekend.
All right, bro. You too.